can do it right now. Tuesday morning. So now I'm going to go in with a little boy. Wow. That's and then we talk pictures about the years because he's taking them out to New York. Oh boy. Let's go.
Let's go.
I mean, big guys.
We have our council meeting, July 6th, come to order, please. I have Danielle call roll, please.
Jerry Motter,
Present.
Dan Schomer,
Present.
Dan Verbeck,
Present.
Karen Wilson,
Present.
Doug Humphrey,
Present.
Jody Lee.
Present.
Okay, Lincoln, give us the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, consideration of council meeting minutes of June 15th of 2026. Y'all got a copy of that? Look it over again. Is there any corrections or additions?
See no corrections, I'll make a motion, we accept it.
Okay, there's a motion to accept the minutes. Second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made second. All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, consideration of the administrator's report. Steve?
Just one thing to quickly give an update from our last meeting, and that's on the water project at Rainbow Ridge. And that project we've had further discussion with the engineer on it. He is our engineer. It becomes the council's decision on whether to go forward with the project under what circumstances. And Sean and I think, are meeting later this week with the engineer. And so we'll have more on that. But we left it at the last meeting that we'd had a 2.5, 3 hour meeting that morning, the 15th of June. And I gave you kind of a brief overview, but our preferred plan going forward would be to require pre-annexation agreements from the residents that would be connecting up to our system, but not to complete the annexation at that time. It is financially the most viable for us. It avoids the expense of additional services, including garbage pickup and street maintenance and snow plowing and those kinds of things. And it moves the project forward on the timeline to be able to secure the Illinois EPA grant, both the grant forgiveness and the loan amount for the entire amount of the construction of the project. And the rest of it are things that I'll address on agenda items number 8 and 9. So that's the entirety of my report.
Okay. Anybody got any questions for Steve? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I like that motion.
Okay, motion second?
Second.
Motion been made second. All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thanks, Steve. Okay, consideration of inspector's report. Rob?
Yeah, we had a good month. The weather was pretty decent. We issued 44 permits for the month of June. Case valuation of $577,435 and permit fees of $8,351.09. So it's a pretty good month. We did close out 2 new houses. We did finals on those up in Conservancy, so 2 of them are completed, and we'll have some new neighbors up there soon. The Hy-Vee Isles Online completed their project, so that's up and running. And then we have 2 new houses that are in the planning stages. I suspect this month, maybe next month, they'll be ready to get their permits for that. And then also on July 15th, we will have our next visioning and land use workshop up at the Camden Center from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So everybody's invited to come. It's open to the public. It's by state regional planning commission that will run the meeting, It's getting the public and other stakeholders input on what they would like to see in the village of Milan over the next 5 years. So,
Anything new on the old Deer Credit Union site?
no, the last I talked to them, they were still working on funding. So, and I haven't heard any more from them, so I'm assuming it was, I think it goes in stages, because part of that is federal funding, and there's an open period when you can apply, and then if you don't make that, then you have to wait for the next one. And there was some, initially, their plan was 16 units. If you have more units, then you qualify for other funding, so they were working on trying to find places that they could put more units. So that's the last I talked to them.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else got any questions for Rob? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we approve inspector's report.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion been made, second. All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Consideration of department heads reports. We'll start with Kevin.
Yeah, we had a pretty good month last in June. I did get the annual water report out, so our quality report, I think everybody should receive that. We got a notification from the Department of Health that we got another fluoridation award, which we've gotten at the last 18 years. Just that shows that we are in compliance with our testing and levels that go out in the water system. I did mention that we attended that Rainbow Ridge meeting. I noted that this is our semi-annual sludge report was sent in, and we processed 1.2 million pounds of sludge from our wastewater plant. I just thought you guys would be interested in that. Which is just a byproduct of our treatment process. So, everything else I think is looking pretty good.
Okay, anybody got any questions for Kevin before we move on to the next one? No? Okay. Derek?
We just finished up our impaired driving campaign through IDOT, which went well. We'll be starting our speed awareness campaign, which will go to August 1st. So we'll be out there and be seen throughout Milan here coming up the next month. I also submitted that live scan fingerprinting grant. It was approved last council. So we got that through. We'll hopefully know soon if it's approved or not. But besides that, everything is going well.
That's good. That's good. Anybody got any questions for Derek? No questions?
Any results of the impaired?
I will get those out on social media. We're still, part of the grant through IDOT is getting results turned in, and we'll put the form out online as well. So, but they did well, same as the first campaign. They're out there, they're working hard. So
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's good numbers. It's good numbers.
And I like your presence on Facebook.
Yeah, we're trying.
Yes.
We're gonna ramp it up. We'll
We're
get
not
there. We'll get there.
not quite Moline.
No, we're not. But no, we'll get there.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else got any questions for Derek? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve department heads reports.
I'll make a motion.
Second that motion?
No, sir.
Okay, a motion made, second. All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Department heads, you already had a long day. If you want to take off, you can go ahead, and we'll move on to number 7, consideration of the semi-monthly and miscellaneous bills. Doug?
Okay, the regular payables for this period are $125,891.13. The top 5 bills are Illinois EPA, the FY27 billing domestic sewage, $15,000. Realco, the Realco are the next two, $14,401.73 and $10,157.58. And I believe that's for replenishing. I think once they got the new tank in and everything, that's replenishing. And there were no bills for gasoline this month, so it must have worked. So, and then the fourth one is the environmental control solutions, web control software. I asked about that. That's just ongoing. That's one of the programs controlling. Steve, I can't remember the software.
The Seneca's the company, and
Yeah.
No, the environmental control, that's our building.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I remember I asked Sean. So, all right. Anyway, and then the fifth one is Hawkins, and that's the A-Zone 15 EPA regulation number 7870.5 for $7,805.67. Are there any others, except for the one that I'm gonna talk about? Are there any other bills that anyone has any questions about?
No, like you said, only
Yeah.
other thing on the RICO bill, that's a 730 blend, that's diesel fuel, and the other one below that's unleaded.
Yeah.
Let everybody know why that's so high.
Yeah, so someone did raise a question about Eastern Iowa Tire for nail repair, and $2,324.60 sounds like a lot of money for a tire repair, nail repair. However, we pulled the bill, and that's actually 8 tires, the stems, and all those things that go into sealing 8 tires, and the nail repair.
And
So,
disposal.
anyway, probably could have been a little bit more explicit in their comment, but you only have an inch and a half, so you have to, yeah. So, anyway, and if anybody does have any questions, they're always on the table in the back. So, anyway, we pulled them, and that's what it was. So, if there's no other questions, then I would make a motion that we pay our bills in the amount of $125,891.13.
I'll second it.
Okay, the motion made, second, have roll call on that. Danielle, please.
Karen Wilson,
Yes.
Doug Humphrey,
Yes.
Dan Verbeck,
Yeah.
Dan Schomer,
Yes.
Jerry Motter,
Yes.
Jody Lee.
Yes.
Okay, I would pay the bills. Okay, number 8, consideration of the fiscal year 2027 appropriations ordinance. And I want to turn that over to Steve, he has all the numbers.
This has been one that we've been long talking about, and it's probably the most unusual one that we've had in a long time. It's not too bad until you get to our 2 enterprise funds. If you remember, the board had approved bringing the Camden Center under the umbrella of the general fund. So in this document that you have in front of you, is still reported as the Camden Center Fund. That will be closed out with Blackhawk Bank, and those monies moved on over, and it will be a department. It will run the same way, it will still receive the same funding, it will still charge the same fees, but it will be reorganized into this first category, the general corporate fund that starts on page 1 of the appropriations ordinance. The big one financially is the water and wastewater. And of course, that's because the next agenda item is consideration of awarding or authorization. We've already awarded the contract. The authorization then to enter into that contract. Because it's the amount of $41,640,000, we're taking that as a separate action. Council has green-lighted that project all the way up through to tonight, and so this will be the final step, is to sign the paperwork, which only amounts to literally 1,990 pages. So I did not print you out a copy of it, because that contract references all the engineering design paperwork as well. But I would seek at the next agenda item then approval to enter into that and to actually give the notice to proceed and set the timeline for the contractor. But so that is included with estimates in the water and sewer fund, which shows on page 11 of 13 in what I've handed out. And there is only an estimate that we will achieve as far as what the projected amount is after we learn that from the contractor on what their schedule is for construction. We anticipate that they'll be doing some preliminary work yet this fall, and then award it, the rest of the work, into our next fiscal calendar year. So that starts May 1 of next year. So the water and sewer fund at $3.5 million plus construction costs. What it does not include is anything on the Rainbow Ridge that I talked about in my report, because that project has not yet been approved by the council. So that would be a supplement to this at such time that we accept the grant and the loan and the forgiveness from Illinois EPA if that project moves forward. So that will require, whatever time that happens later this year, to be an amendment into this appropriation ordinance. General corporate fund, most of those are inflationary costs. The big ticket items generally fall within some of the capital outlays. Police department, there is a line item in there which would require council approval if you want to move forward with it. But the police department had asked for significant investment in buildings for the range, for the shooting range. That's based on some preliminary costs that they had in there. That's a $450,000 line item. It's included in this. The funding is in place to do it. We're making several significant assumptions as far as the revenue side on it, which doesn't reflect your appropriations. Remember, is just the spending side of the package has to be matched up against revenues. Our corporate personal property replacement tax is projected to be a little over $433,000 for the upcoming year. That's 13% true-up contingency by the state of Illinois. Our cannabis is forecasted to be, and it actually hit several different places in our chart of accounts. This most significant is a line item in the general fund for $920,000. That's held flat across the two cannabis dispensaries. Many of the rest of the state distributed funds are based on population. The population doesn't change because that's the official count from the 2020 decennial census. So we're 5,097 times that, and it's whatever rate then is set year by year by the state of Illinois. So there's nothing we can do about those revenues. But the motor fuel tax and the tax replacement fund, those have come up a little bit. We're about $30,000 to the good on that. I would take any questions you have as far as the spending side of it or the revenue side. Open it for your questions. One thing that does not show here, but just so that everybody has a full understanding, our insurance and claims account does not show, because what you'll see is that shows in the expenditure by the departments that have the payroll expense. So they have to make a contribution into our self-funded insurance policy plan. So to report that in this would be to double count those numbers. But we did get a competitive renewal rate, much below the market kinds of increases. That was approved. I think it was mid-May. It might have been just a week or two earlier than that for the renewal, which took effect July 1st. So most of the rest of it is fairly standard. Other than the police department, we're down a little bit on some of our fleet spending. the new equipment. We've been fortunate enough to be able to buy several pieces of equipment over the last few years for water and sewer and public works. So they meet the requests of the department heads for those. And in total, the package is $17,504,575, split between the funds as you see. Questions on it?
That's down from like 22 million.
Yeah. Well, 20,941 from
Yeah,
the previous year.
And the thing that's not showing there in its entirety is the water and sewer fund.
Yeah.
There's one thing I want to check to see if I made an error. I think it's covered, but I have one thing that I want to check. It might be a correction to that, but I'm comfortable with this.
So just for clarity, what we're, I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, what we're saying is that this is, once this is signed and in effect, this is how much, this is the maximum appropriation without an amendment.
Without an amendment.
Without an amendment that the village can spend or appropriate.
Correct. And the bulk of the discrepancy from last year, the reduction from last year, is that TIF 2 had substantial capital improvement dollars in it last year. TIF 2 has ended its sunset. The money is still in reserves. Because we have not yet created TIF 5, I can't show it in an appropriations ordinance. So it has no place to land. Again, if we create TIF 5 during the mid-year, we already have some numbers earmarked for land acquisition and some infrastructure improvements that would come out of that. So that too would be an amendment to it. But we can't do that until we actually have it TIF created. That'll bring it back up. As it stands right now, the revenues look like they're sufficient that we can fund this level of operation without significant property tax increase. That's always a good thing. It doesn't look like we're going to be coming back and suggesting any kind of a truth in taxation change this fall that would up the property tax next year. It's been several years since we had to go that route. As a matter of fact, the city's portion, because the equalized assessed valuation for property tax increased last year with the end of TIF 2, there's actually been a reduction in the village's tax rate, which has generated a similar amount of money this year. We expect that to be the case this next year as well.
So would you figure that the other revenue we have coming in from the other two sources has brought it down from the 20 to the 17, or that don't really have an effect on it?
We still anticipate, the one of the unknowns. There's several things that are unknown about it. Crystal ball and best guess. We're looking at the construction schedule for Nature's Treatment for their facility in Rock Island. Matt Stern has stated that he is interested in obtaining another license to keep the Milan location open. That remains to be seen if that happens. It's also uncertain on when they might complete construction and get permission from the state of Illinois to operate out of the Rock Island location across from the casino. Now, they would still, there's no discussion so far that I know of moving the medical marijuana dispensary from Milan, that would still stay. And we would still have the Terrace Cannabis location as well, which would pick up slack from a neighbor 800 feet down the street if they stop dispensing out of that building. So the projection is that it has a flat revenue through the end of this year because there's about a 90-day lag from the time that they would open up in a new location until we would realize a change in the distribution of the taxes coming back from the state of Illinois. So For example, something happening towards the end of the calendar year, if they open their doors, let's say January 1, just for the convenience sake of illustration, that the January sales through the end of the calendar month would be a tax liability that they would submit to the state of Illinois by mid-February, and it's approximately 60 days after that, 45 to 60 days, before that distribution would come back to the Village of Milan. And so that takes us essentially to the end of our fiscal year. So, that's one of the things that we'll continue to monitor, because the extent to which Terrace Cannabis picks up that slack remains to be seen, but that is an impact that will hit next year. That's why we've been able to successfully kind of stash away for a rainy day, significant revenues, $11 million for general fund, so that we're not, decimated by the loss of, or the reduction in cannabis revenue. So, it's included in our assumptions, and I think our assumptions have been very conservative as far as our cannabis revenues.
Anybody else got any questions about the appropriations?
That's what I was just gonna ask about. You answered my questions.
Yeah, that's, that, and some of the state numbers are, we rely on the ones which are formula-based, like our distribution of corporate personal property replacement tax is on some of those are on a per capita basis. We rely strictly on the state formula and the Illinois Municipal League's estimate on what municipalities are going to receive. Some of the others, like sales tax, we have a pretty good insight into. We know that retail prices have continued to have inflationary pressure, and the businesses have grown. So there's real growth, but there's also inflationary growth. So while it's costing us more money when we go to buy gas or pay the electric bill or whatever as the village, it also, we see kind of a corresponding increase in revenue as a result of that inflation or that growth. And so it's a balancing act. And I think our staff has done a good job.
Okay, anybody got any other questions? Everybody understands it?
Sean, you've worked on it.
Yeah, I think department heads are all happy. We spent plenty of time with them going over their lists and meetings and stuff like that, and keep up on, whatever it takes to serve their department. So I think they're all, looking in pretty good shape.
If we find it changes, we have the first 6 months of the fiscal year, that if we receive additional revenue stream, that the council can then do the amendment. And of course, you can also amend downwards at any time during the year that you want.
Well, if nobody has any other questions, so we got, you got a number for this ordinance, Daniel?
I do not. Just says fiscal
Fiscal
year
2017.
2027.
We'll just pass it and assign the next
Yeah,
sequential
that's
number.
nothing major. Okay, so, looking for a motion to.
I'll make the motion that we approve the 2026 appropriation ordinance for the Village of Milan, and that period of time would run from the first day of May 2026 to the 30th day of April 2027, in the amount of $17,504,575.
Second.
Okay, motion been made a second. Can I have a roll call vote on that? Daniel?
Jody Lee,
Yes.
Doug Humphrey,
Yes.
Karen Wilson,
Yes.
Dan Schomer,
Yes.
Jerry Motter,
Yes.
Dan Verbeck.
Yeah. Okay, motion carried. We'll hook up the ordinance number on that later. It'll be 17 something, I'm pretty sure. Okay, number 9, consideration of approval of a contract with William Brothers Constructions Incorporated with the base bid, with bid alternate number 1 in amount of $41,604,000 for the wastewater treatment facility modifications project, so.
Just a correction in what you read, though, is 41,640,000.
That's what it's-
We'd be seeking. I think you said 604. It's
What
640.
price?
It's okay.
41,640.
No, I just wanted to,
Yeah.
yeah.
He could just make up the difference.
That's pocket change
His,
after that.
his pensions, yeah. He can take it out of his pension.
That was just my Illinois accent.
Plus or minus 36,000, when you're talking 41 million.
Okay, so we already did approve this before, now we're approving the actual dollar amount, so.
I got a question.
Yeah.
When we signed this thing with Strand, it was $100,000 more.
The alternate was,
Why?
it was a deduct, okay?
Right.
And it had to do with whether or not they applied more or less decorative finish to the concrete on the outside of the largest
Is
port.
this where they got the 100,000? On the liner for the inside of the
Yep.
tank wall
Well,
or
it's
something?
the outside of it, it's not the
Right.
inside. And yeah, it's $100,000 cheaper to do it functionally the same, but not have, an aesthetical treatment of the concrete on the outside of the plant.
Right.
It's not, it's not in a location where we have to worry a lot
Not
about.
along 74 or,
Yes, right. So we opted for the savings.
yeah. Gotcha. That was just a question.
Yep.
Is there
Yep.
any other questions on number 9?
Now, there's, obviously, this is what's considered, the base bid with alternate. There's some line items, things if they get into, rock excavation and change orders and things, there will be on the size of this project over 3+ years. The actual number will end up being different, but this does allow a contingency in this bid price. And so we'll, we hope it comes in at least pretty close to that. And also, we talked before about it is an impact project, so the contractor will sign the impact paperwork.
This is the next step to our
This is it.
completion of this project, yeah.
Yep, we have some paperwork that will go back and forth with the contractor, and then a pre-construction conference, and then we're underway.
Yeah, good. Okay, anybody want to start with a motion?
I'll make the motion. Go ahead, Jerry.
Okay, Jerry's
I'll
made a
second
motion.
Jerry's motion.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. Have a roll call vote on that, please, Danielle.
The town can get you both.
Dan Verbeck,
Used
We
to it.
need it.
Yeah.
Doug Humphrey,
Yes.
Karen Wilson,
Yes.
Jerry Motter,
Yes.
Jody
Look at
Lee,
these jokes.
Dan Schomer.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried.
Well, Jerry, I think my hand might shake a little bit as I sign it.
Yeah,
That's funny.
big time.
Okay, number 10, committee reports. Start with Dan Verbeck.
Nothing.
Nothing? Jody?
Nothing.
Karen?
Quickly. Sean, and
Terrace Cannabis emailed Danielle
And Michelle.
and Michelle. They
Okay.
want to do a car show on July 18th. Have that date correct? During the day. I don't anticipate, they're going to have a food vendor, it says in the email, which will have to be approved through the health department and stuff. I don't anticipate any issues or problems or anything.
No
No, I don't
permits.
see a permit needed for anything like that. Just FYI, if anybody has any questions or anything like that. I
So
don't see why we.
can we give just a okay instead of having it be an agenda item? Lincoln?
I don't know if that's even
It
necessary.
doesn't,
Yeah, I don't
it doesn't need an approval.
It's on private property, so it's nothing to do with us.
Well, it's business.
Well, that's a
but-
good point, yeah.
Yeah.
There'd be, the Legion does a car show every third.
Monday, Monday.
From us.
I mean, it's not like they get out of hand.
Where is it?
No.
Terrace,
And I can't imagine that they're gonna toke it up in the parking lot and then drive their cars home. So,
Well, instead of doing a motion, we do a consensus.
I don't think you're approving.
I don't think so. It's just a report
it's just a
back.
statement.
Oh, okay,
I don't
gotcha.
think you need a motion or anything.
No, I wouldn't, I didn't know if you were looking for a consensus or what.
No, just
Okay.
wanted to bring it up.
Okay, that, well,
That's it for me.
okay, Karen, thank you. Jerry?
Nothing.
Dan?
I just have a question for Sean, maybe you can answer it. I heard that one side of the ball diamond up there at the Groves is done, is that correct?
One side is completely done. When I drove by this morning, they were there on the field closest to 67. They should be hopefully wrapping that up pretty soon too.
Okay. I apologize, I haven't been able to
No, it's
make it up
okay.
there.
Yeah.
Well, it's been kind of rough.
Kind of when it connects.
Hey, Doug, got anything?
Yeah, the state tournament for the Milan Little League, it's gonna start on the 18th also. And they're inviting the mayor to throw out the first ball, so.
Nice.
You all wanna see how he does it out.
I haven't started practicing yet, but it won't be too bad.
Yeah. So, no, otherwise I don't have anything.
Okay.
So I have a question. I don't know if this is the appropriate time to bring it up or not in our committees, but I was kind of interested in finding out if the trustees could get a raise on, and I don't know which way to go with that.
Well, I was.
Because I was told that by Michelle that it should probably be like maybe a committee of the whole
Or a special meeting.
or a special meeting.
Well, I would think, correct me if I'm wrong, it probably would start with the finance committee to come up with a number on that.
I just think, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, special meeting.
It can be, it could go either avenue. You could have a study session on it if you want to do comparables with other communities. Historically, it's been since,
2020,
yeah,
and it's
before.
been 42 years since any actions happened. So,
And of course, Illinois law requires that any public body, Milan included, cannot change compensation midterm for an elected. So that any change that would be made, and it's up or down, would only apply to those coming into office after the next election, whether they're new or whether they're reelected. And so it would be until May of '27 would be the earliest that would affect 3 positions on the council. And then 2 years after that, that it would affect the other 3 trustees, the mayor and the clerk.
The mayor want to get on the next one.
Mayor,
Since we're running.
well, the mayor probably would, actually,
Yeah,
because
he's running.
it's for the remainder of the 2-year term of the previous mayor. So Mayor Dawson had a 4-year term, and so I don't know if, is a continuation of the last 2 years of a 4-year term, does that count?
I really don't know the tech, I mean, he's gonna have to go through the election, so much the I would think it would apply.
It would make sense that it would.
Yeah.
So also, so the 3 or 4 that goes through it now would be affected. Then the other 4 would have to go through all this again?
Yeah.
Or would that be an
It would be
automatic?
passed one time, but
Just
the
one time,
effective date
okay, got you.
would be with that subsequent election.
Yeah, because we would have to start that way because we are split the election. So
Yeah.
we'd have to start that
and the
way.
reason why they did that years ago, they split it, was so you didn't wipe out a whole board all
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
once.
That makes sense.
Well, the
That's
sec-
why the county
Yeah.
does it.
Well, the second thing for that would be interesting is that the mayor can't get 2 raises up at same, now and then 2 more years from now at 29.
It would carry over.
It would
Years
carry
is
over,
carry
yeah,
over.
because you only can do it one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that ordinance would set what it would be going forward.
It would just be
And
a
it would
3.
apply every election after that.
Right.
So Steve, how would we start then? How would we start all this?
Any of those 3 ways. You can do it by having a select committee, you can do committee of the whole, or you could do it at a special council meeting. And, the first thing obviously would be if there's any comparables that you want to see, what's other communities around are doing, or
By
similar
state.
size or by geography?
By state and get the info for us.
By state actually publishes, and I looked up, and I think their published number was through 2025,
Yeah.
was it?
That's the paper you gave me. I
That was
gave,
about a
I
year
got a
ago.
copy for everybody.
Yeah.
For that too. And that, but I just thinking, if you want to start finance, just my thought, you can come up with a dollar amount that you think everyone else would be comfortable with and go from there, unless you want to hash all that out at another special meeting.
I think we
It's totally up
just
to you
need to
guys.
hash it out in front of everybody.
That's fine, whatever you want to do.
So we know we're gonna have to have a time for Rainbow Ridge in the next couple of months. So maybe a special meeting would be the way to go. And then-
Yeah, there's,
We're running out of time.
there's three things that are really critical timeline coming up in the next 6 to 8 weeks. A decision on Rainbow Ridge, the discussion on water and sewer rates, because our wastewater treatment plant, we're telling a contractor to start, but the Illinois EPA won't start paying the bills on behalf of the village until the village has in place its new rate structure. So that needs to be within the next 6 to 8 weeks that those decisions are made. We have an idea what we're gonna have to do on it, because in round numbers, we have to generate just a little over $1.4 million a year to service the repayment of the Illinois EPA loan, starting after the project is substantially complete. It may be a punch list, but basically your plant is up and operating, and that is the start of the clock for the repayment with Illinois EPA. So we don't make, for the next 3 fiscal years, we don't make that payment. We have to have our rate structure in place saying when those kick in, so Illinois EPA makes sure that we're gonna have the cash flow to pay them back when they pay these other contractor bills on our behalf.
180
Yeah,
days.
September, the end of September is your last day you can get it done.
So we gotta get some work done.
3 months.
Between now and September.
Right.
Because past that, you're waiting 2 more years.
Correct.
So could we set maybe something in motion, like maybe the first meeting in September? Come back with numbers?
You probably want to
It's gotta
discuss
be-
it
That'll be
earlier.
sooner than that.
It's gotta
Sooner
be
than that?
August.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it's gotta be in August.
yeah.
Okay.
If you think
If
there's,
you set it as, a special meeting, it could be whenever you decide you can get it warm together.
October of this year starts your 180 days, 3 months, 3 months.
Oh,
So-
I got you.
Yeah.
And so you gotta have it done and accomplished and passed by the end of September. So you got July, August, September, so you got 3 months to get it done.
And it has to be passed by ordinance.
Right.
Which means that a committee can't make a final decision, they can make a recommendation.
Recommendation, right.
And a study session, if you want to do it that way, that's fine. You can come back and have,
Who is our
an
finance
idea of what you want to do, but the final action would have to be via ordinance, passed to the village board meeting.
Yeah, sometimes in committee, it makes it go a little bit faster than taking the time for everybody in the regular council maybe to come up with the numbers, but if everybody's got an idea, it won't take that long.
Yeah.
He said you
And
could go that route.
do you wanna do it the last week of July? Is everybody available
Oh, I'm available, yeah.
for a special meeting?
That's what happens when you retire, Bruce. That's what happens when you retire.
Tuesday, July 28th,
July 28th?
Tuesday,
5 o'clock.
July 28th.
And that's open to the public,
Here,
correct?
And it's
Yeah.
open to the public.
Okay.
July 28th.
At what time?
5 o'clock here?
5 o'clock.
5 PM, okay.
So
Council chambers?
you want to have that as a special village board meeting?
Special.
Okay, which, and let staff and let Lincoln know if you are going to report back with a recommendation or if you want to take final action that night. If you think that you'll have kicked it around and come up with a consensus, if it is on the agenda for consideration of an ordinance, the numbers can be written in that
Yeah,
night
that's the
on
thing.
the
Right.
ordinance.
Draft an ordinance of blanks on it.
Yeah.
You can fill them in.
Because there's only, just a few numbers that have to.
And we're set-
Then you can get it on your,
And we're setting
1st of August.
an hour and a half time limit.
Planning commission meets on that Tuesday at 4 PM, so maybe a little wiggle room if you want to start at 5:30, just to be safe.
5's good. They can go upstairs.
First come, first served.
I'll go upstairs in the cafeteria.
Talk fast.
The public can come upstairs.
We may not have it. It's still up in the air.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if Rob has anything right now, I don't think he has anything right now.
Okay. If something changes, whatever, we
Yeah.
can be flexible.
Okay.
But I'm not flexible right
Our
now.
meetings don't generally take,
Okay, so that date, then, that would be just for the one issue.
Right.
Okay, right, is that what we want
Well,
to do?
a special meeting, we'll set an
1 hour.
agenda 48 hours before.
Oh, we have to, we
Yeah.
have to.
So we have another meeting before then, if anybody wants to add something to the special meeting, because I know Michelle was concerned about a question being added to the ballot at some point. I don't know if she's got a chance to discuss that with you, but we could possibly discuss that at that time.
Okay.
So if you think you need to talk about the water rate and the
Yeah,
Rainbow
I don't mind
Ridge,
that.
fine, but I mean, it may wind up being, it might take pretty much all the hour and a half just to take care of the one issue.
Yeah, and, I think those can be very constructive to have a rifle-focused kind of discussion
Yeah.
on something like that obviously has implications for every council from here on out.
Yeah, we'll put that as number one on the
So we
agenda.
would probably,
Because
I would
42 years
suggest,
is too long.
I would suggest an agenda that would be structured, that there, you'd have the roll call and pledge and all that. And then a discussion, and then consideration of an ordinance, which you wouldn't necessarily, if you hadn't come to a consensus, you might say you were gonna kick it down the road. But if you know the numbers to fill in, the blanks on the ordinance that Lincoln prepares, that way you could take action that night, or you could take it at a subsequent meeting, as long as you met the county's deadline for 180 days.
Oh, and do you think that would be, the 28th would be adequate time, Steve, for you to research the issue of what constitutes a special meeting, what constitutes pay in each category? So that because that's part of the deal too, is,
Yes.
I think we need to take care of the whole thing.
And here's the context for everybody. Different local government, and I'm talking primarily about cities, villages, and towns in Illinois, compensate different ways. Some of them do an annual amount, some of them do it per meeting, some of them include special meetings as being separately compensated, and some of them don't. As long as your ordinance states it, any of those are acceptable under state law. It just has to be clear in the ordinance that you pass. So there are some local communities that just do a flat amount, and you're expected to show up. I don't know if they have any problem getting quorums, but we don't pay, historically have not paid for committee meetings. Rock Island County for a long time did. They gave that in a per diem.
They still do. They get paid to drive to meetings. I'm not saying that. Can we have the information now?
All those other cities?
You betcha.
I got it up in my office, I can pass it out to you if you wait until I go up there and get it.
Sure.
The one Steve drew up's got for the mayor and
Absolutely.
council.
Every single board member needs to be privy to that.
Right.
And that's
Because that'll give us time to make our own decisions.
And I was waiting until hear what Doug wanted to say and the rest of you before I could pass that out. If you, so you had all that information, whether you wanted to do it at your finance meeting, but
No.
since you're gonna have another meeting, committee of the whole or whatever, you need to know that right now, so you can think about it over time.
And then if you can find the ordinance
Special meeting,
that
yeah.
we are presently under, then that could be the start of what changes are made, if any, to the, you might as well update, update the ordinance if necessary at
Or
the same
special
time.
meetings.
And that's fine, we will do that, we'll try to pull that, but, what you're doing with passing a new ordinance is you're wiping that slate clean and saying, effective with the installation of the new, you're gonna have a two-tier system. Part of the council is paid the old way and part is paid the new way.
But we have to do it. We gotta stop the cycle.
Yeah.
We're not getting free insurance like they did for 32 years. That's why they didn't raise them. We gotta stop the cycle.
Yeah, I think it might be lucky to find it in an ordinance way back then,
Yeah.
It should be there.
It should be.
And Aaron looked up information. I told him that I didn't want the information till the end of July, but it's prepared when the free insurance and IMRF stopped and when you guys started paying into it. And when the last raise was.
Well, like I said, we used to get paid for the special meetings, but that's been like a long time ago. And then it kind of fell off between when Barb's left and Michelle took over, and kind of a gap right there. So we need to research it, like you said.
Yeah.
And we never had very many. I mean, we lucky we had like 2 a year.
If we got an ordinance, it's gonna tell us.
That's right.
And I've been having a devil of a time finding it, so I imagine that you all are gonna have a fun time too, but we need to find it.
Okay.
Because I'm sure somebody is, there's got to be some reason where we came up with the dollar figure that we have right now, and we need to find that document.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, anybody, anything else on your committee?
No.
Okay, that's all the committee reports. We'll go to the citizens' opportunity to address the board. Chuck, you're the first one on the list.
Sure. I just wonder if there's anything to the rumor about the battery farm that's going up by Castle Junction. It's supposed to be like a 4-acre battery farm.
Didn't hear nothing about that, no.
Yeah, it's called like Sub 47, so it's a Rock Island County thing. But I've already heard rumors about it, and I just wanted to kind of get ahead of it. So if people start posting goofy crap on my page, I can get a proper, response.
I think Rock Island County was holding a meeting on it, but nothing with us. But
It's a battery farm.
They can look and find that.
Yeah, they said
Is that
it's
where you
supposed to
take the
be
batteries?
started by September 2028.
I'll find that.
Yeah, that's fine, I'd like to have those things. That's all I have.
That's all I had. Okay, thanks, Chuck. Next person is Heather. When you come up front, can you state your name and your address just for our minutes,
Oh, sure.
if you would, please?
Yep. Good evening, I'm Heather Anderson. I'm with First to 5 Illinois, Rock Island County. I live in Milan. Do you want that address? Here in professional business, but I can give you my home address. Yes?
Sure.
Okay, 2121 129th Avenue Court, Milan. So I've been here once before. I think it was winter time, and so I thought I would circle back to remind you that we're still here, first of all. And so we're throughout 5 Illinois, throughout the whole state of Illinois. There are 39 counties, even though we're 49 because of Chicago. Chicago is 1A, 1B, 1C, all that. And so we're throughout the whole state of Illinois. We're under INCRA, which is the Illinois Network of Child Care Resource and Referral Agencies, which has been around for a lot of years. So what we work towards is making sure that Illinois is the best place for people to raise their young children. And so even though we're birth to 5, we do work with families that have children birth to age 8. And we want to, what our job is, we're a nonprofit, We don't sell anything, we don't profit in any way, but we help listen to families that have young children and then build those bridges within the community. And the example of that would be that we had community members and family members that were telling us that the support systems aren't what they used to be. If you're an immigrant or a refugee or you're new to this country, and your, for instance, this woman I spoke to had a 2-year-old and she was pregnant. And if she's on a support system, she goes to the hospital to have her baby, and you can't take a 2-year-old into the delivery room. And so then DCFS gets called, right? And so we're working on things like developing a crisis nursery. So we can't do the work, but we meet with community members to try to get other community members and organizations to do that lifting, and we're here for the ride in the background, so to speak, okay? So we do have a partner that is going to work on building a crisis nursery. And a crisis nursery, there's only 7 throughout the whole state of Illinois. Our closest one to us is in Peoria. And so a crisis nursery would serve a lot of purposes. For example, the hospital visit that I mentioned. So if someone needed to drop off a child in an emergency or a domestic violence incident, or just for mental health purposes, maybe a mom needs to go to the grocery store for 2 hours of quiet time, and they could use that. And it would be regulated and licensed and with appropriate background checks and things like that. But again, we're just building that bridge. Another thing that we have been working on, and if I can approach, is that okay? If I can bring some things up there.
Sure.
So these are, we were calling these ambassador packets. I think I brought 5, so share. But each one of them, you can find that information on our website as well. And so families were telling us, we would love to spend more quality time with our kiddos, but between working and sports and all of these things, it's really hard. And so we thought at our council meetings that we conduct every month, the parents were saying, well, how about 5 minutes? Do you have 5 minutes? Sure. Who doesn't have 5 minutes to spend quality time with their families and to really build the mental health of the entire family? And so we worked with our family council and our action council. We meet with them once a month. And we came up with these activities. The QR code will link you to videos that our family council members made illustrating these activities. And so that's one of the things that we've been working on with our family council. The other thing that we're working on, many, but another example would be a new parent cohort. And so my manager, Emily Cummings, who I think was here last time we spoke, she met with the CEO of Community Healthcare and said, hey, we have new parents that are feeling sort of isolated. And again, that affects their mental health as well as their families. And so my manager and the CEO were working to have a new parent cohort, which just means maybe your people that deliver babies in the next 3 months, there'd be a QR code for them to scan upon delivery of a baby, and then they would be able to meet with, it could be a nurse, it could be a therapist from every child, and then they would be able to talk with other parents and get this expert advice and still feel like they have a community where sometimes we don't always have one. The last ask I have is that we're in recruiting season for our councils. So we have a family council and an action council. Family council, they have to have children age 8 and under, and we're looking for a diverse population. So we want to make sure there's men on the board. We want to make sure that there's women, grandparents raising children, foster families. Everyone wants them to have a seat at the table. And so we're recruiting right now in the summer, and then we'll have our onboarding for council members in the fall. And so if you know of any folks that have young children, don't look me directly in the eye. You all know someone. You all know someone that has young children. There is a flyer with a QR code. I think I had 10 of those. And so we are asking for your help in recruiting families. And our Action Council is also open for recruitment, and those folks are really anyone that has anything to do with early childhood or not. So it can be business owners, people that work at banks, it could be parents, that type of thing. And so we need help with our recruiting so that we get the most diverse populations at the table. For Family Council, we do pay a quarterly stipend of $125 for them to either meet with us. If they can't make the meeting, we have lots of other ways that they can participate so that we can get their voices heard and then start working on being those bridges. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Good information. Okay, that's the last one on the agenda. Number 12 is adjourn. Anybody make motion to
I'll
adjourn?
make a motion.
Second? Second?
Second.
All in favor, saying aye.
Aye.